Hey Divi Nation, thank you for joining us for another episode of Divi Creator Showcase, a series where we interview a Divi creator from the marketplace, learning all about their story, products, and ongoing journey as part of the Divi community. Today we are joined by Divi creator Brad of Divi Plugins, best known for Divi Filter Grid. He currently has over 160 sales in the Divi Marketplace. Let's learn a little bit more about Brad and his products. Hey Brad, thank you for joining us. How you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. So for people who don't know about you, just super brief, who are you, where are you from, and what do you do?
My name is Brad Crawford, and I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I am the owner creator of DiviPlugins.com.
Awesome. All right, so Divi Plugins, if you guys aren't familiar, they're on the marketplace. They have two main products that you should definitely check out. We're going to dive a little bit more into that. But before we do that, let's dig into your story a bit, right? So would you mind telling us how you first stumbled upon Divi?
Yeah, it's kind of I took the long way around to get there. My story starts in construction. I started out in construction, and then I moved over to welding.
Okay. And
then I operated a CNC machine for several years. So for the first, I would say probably 10 years of my adult life was mostly manual labor, watching the clock, waiting for the end of the workday. And then I guess I just got to a point where it just wasn't working for me anymore. And so I didn't know for sure what I wanted to do, but I enjoyed building websites on the side, and just I wouldn't even want to show you any of those websites now, but I kind of got started doing it as a hobby, and then decided to try it as a career. So I got serious about it, learned HTML, CSS, PHP, JavaScript, all the basics. And started doing it for clients, started getting client work, and realized that I wasn't going to be able to do it on my own. Basically coding every website from scratch is not practical. So I learned about WordPress, and then I learned about Elegant Themes, and got started with their legacy themes before Divi was introduced. Chameleon, Foxy, Boutique, all the classics. And then Divi came out and just kind of changed everything. And so, once clients got a hold of that and the power of being able to change the website themselves, there was no looking back after that. So, I got into Divi heavily from the beginning. I think in the beginning, Elegant Themes was focusing on the theme itself, and the core of it. And so the modules were a little bit lacking. And so, that's kind of where us developers started to step in and kind of customize it on our own.
Yeah. So basically, I would assume that's what inspired you, right? So you saw that the modules weren't exactly what you wanted. You had some of the background to be able to kind of fill that gap. So that is, the inspiration. But what was that first product that you said, this is what I need? This is the missing piece.
Yeah, I think the first product, actually, I gave it away for free. It was Portfolio Post is what it was called. And it basically took the portfolio module and opened it up to any post type, any custom post type. So the portfolio module was limited to projects, the project custom post type. And I fiddled around with the module and modified it and opened it up to other custom post types and gave it away for free, and wasn't even, selling it wasn't even on my radar at the time. It was just, I need to do this for my client's website. And so maybe somebody else could use it too,
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how we got started. And then people started asking for features and, can you do this? Can you do that? And you should be charging for this.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started. And I created a pro version of that plugin and created DiviPlugins.com and started selling.
So when about was that? So like you made that, do you remember kind of what year you did that? And then how long it took for you to say, all right, I'm going to start DiviPlugins.com?
Yeah. I mean, I released the free version of the plugin shortly after Divi was released in late 2013, early 14. And I was working off of a tutorial website that I'd created for Elegant Themes. It was called eleganttweaks.com.
Okay.
So I released the free version in 2014, and then in 2015, I started selling the pro version.
Okay, cool. So that's, I mean, really you had a decent amount of time before you even jumped into saying, all right, this is what I'm going to do, DiviPlugins.com. So it's interesting to see how you go from construction to, oh, I'm going to have some clients, to all of a sudden, all right, I guess I'm developing stuff for this theme. So it's a pretty cool journey there. Which speaking of, I would assume, understanding what Divi users want and need plays a big role in deciding, okay, the portfolio thing worked out. Now they're requesting this. Like with that in mind, can you tell us kind of about your process for coming up with new product ideas?
Yeah, definitely. In the beginning, it was all about, this is what I need, or this is what my clients need. And so I need to make it,
Yeah.
And in the beginning, that was definitely the process, was just, do I need it? Is it available anywhere else? No. Okay, well, let's create it. And once DiviPlugins.com started to take off, we started to get a pretty good customer base. Then it became more about, listening to our customers, and we would get a common theme of, hey, can you do this? Can we add this? And how do I do this? And so then it was like, okay, well, obviously this is what they want. So let's give them that,
Makes sense. Okay. So technically right now on the Divi Marketplace, you have two products and, you have some free options and stuff on your site, but of the main two, Filter Grid is doing the best. Why do you think that is? And for those who never heard of Filter Grid, could you explain what it is? What's the purpose of it?
Yeah, so Divi Filter Grid is kind of like Portfolio Post Pro 2.0, basically. We took Portfolio Post Pro as far as we could take it. It's built off the same HTML and CSS as the default portfolio modules. So we were wanting to do things that we were kind of limited by that aspect of Portfolio Post Pro. So when we created Divi Filter Grid, we kind of took everything that we learned from Portfolio Post Pro, all the mistakes that we'd made, all the features that were missing, and then we built that into Divi Filter Grid and sort of fixed everything and made a new plugin from the ground up. It's based on CSS Grid, so I don't know how familiar everyone listening is with CSS Grid, but it's a little bit like Flexbox, a little bit more structurally. The layout is more of a grid pattern. You can move items around by simply, with one line of code, you can take an element that's sitting on the bottom and move it up to the top. You can create multiple columns, rows. It's pretty crazy what you can do with it. So that was, we definitely wanted to build it on top of CSS Grid for that flexibility. And then, it does a lot of the same things that Portfolio Post Pro does. So you can display any post or custom post type in a grid format, grid layout, and then you can filter it on any taxonomy. So categories, tags, if you're displaying products, product categories, product tags, and that's the gist of it.
Yeah, so there's a lot there. So if you haven't heard of it, go check it out because it may be exactly what you've been needing for this whole time. Kind of like how, when you're making a website for a client, you're like, okay, I have everything except I need this feature. So there's someone out there that probably already did that for you. So go out and look at all the different products available. Which, speaking of, have you been surprised by like the success or even lack of interest certain products that you made have had compared to what you originally expected?
I would say that the original success of our first plugin was a huge surprise.
Mm-hmm.
But, after building up some steam and getting client support for that plugin and then our subsequent plugins, I don't think I was really necessarily surprised by the success or failure of any of our plugins. Maybe our Divi Module Builder, that plugin has a lot of potential and hasn't really taken off the way that I think I thought it would. But
Mm-hmm.
we also haven't really done a great job of marketing that plugin because we've been so focused on Divi Filter Grid, and it's been the bread and butter of our lineup. So, but yeah, I would say Divi Module Builder probably a little bit of a surprise.
Okay, so actually going off of that, like you said, Module Builder, it's not doing as well as you had imagined. So between that and Filter Grid, what would you say is your personal favorite? Not like the best for someone, but like your personal favorite of the two?
I would say probably the Divi Module Builder, just because, coming from a developer's background, that's kind of like a little, that's like a playground
Mm-hmm.
for developers to do whatever you want. So that's probably my personal favorite. Yeah.
So would you describe that as like the most useful to an average Divi user, like someone that's watching right now that maybe doesn't have too many plugins or modules or anything like that? Would you say, hey, out of my two products on the marketplace, you should pick this up and mess around with it because you may be surprised by what you can create with it?
Yeah. I mean, I would say for the average user, Divi Filter Grid is definitely the better plugin because it's much easier to use.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of experience required. It's so versatile in what you can do with it. But if you have any developer experience, if you know HTML, and you don't need to be, an expert.
Yeah.
If you just know a little bit of HTML, CSS, PHP, then yeah, definitely Divi Module Builder is a good plugin to basically create whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. So going off of that, talking about a little bit of experience in HTML, CSS, PHP, there's probably someone out there listening that has always wanted to make their first Divi product, but they don't know really how to go about it and whatnot. So I was wondering, do you have any advice for other Divi users out there that want to create their own modules?
Yeah, download and purchase the Divi Module Builder.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good answer.
I would say if you're wanting to do something for a client, and you're wanting to do something quickly, then definitely the Divi Module Builder is a great way to quickly create a module and solve a problem without having to spend a lot of time learning how to build,
Mm-hmm.
a module from scratch using the API, learning all of the, React and everything that comes along with it. So I would say definitely Divi Module Builder if you're just building it for a client. If you're wanting to build a plugin to sell, then you probably want to go through the process of, the API and the tutorials on elegant themes.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. If you want the easy start and you kind of want to dip your toes in the water, Divi Module Builder is a great option. So definitely check that out. Now, kind of the big question here, what is your vision for the future of Divi plugins? And do you have any potential teasers you could share with us about like maybe an upcoming release, or are you more focused on your current products? Kind of fill us in there.
Yeah, we do have a plugin that we've been working on for several months that we're hopefully we'll be releasing soon.
Okay.
I don't want to say too much about it.
Yeah, totally fine.
And then, other than that, that's our major project right now. But other than that, there's a lot of ideas we have for extensions for Divi Filter Grid. I think that there's a lot of opportunity there where we could expand its usability on what it could be used for. Like we're thinking about a specific extension for WooCommerce that would make it easy to display products. And then the Divi Module Builder, we have a handful of custom modules that we've built to kind of give you an idea of, what's possible, give you a head start on building your own custom module. And we'd really like to expand on that library and make it, easier for you to get started with a custom module and have more availability of modules there.
Yeah, totally. So if you guys haven't yet, again, go to the description, click the link, check out Filter Grid, check out Module Builder. Brad, I wanted to ask if you have any other final things you want to share with the Divi community. I mean, now is kind of the optimal time. You have all these people in front of you that love Divi, they know Divi. What do you want to tell them?
Yeah, I actually, I have a lot to say. It's always incredible to me when I get a support ticket, and I do a lot of the support tickets myself. That's kind of how I, stay in touch with what everyone needs and is wanting. And it's incredible when we get support tickets and someone, the first thing they say is, I love your plugins. It's awesome. It's makes my job so much easier. The other day we had one, the guy said, I've been using WordPress for 7 years, and this is by far the best plugin I've ever used.
Wow.
And when you get something like that, it's just like, it just makes you feel good inside.
Oh, definitely.
And especially coming from, my background of doing client work myself, knowing how time intensive it can be to try to find a solution that works, and so to get that kind of praise on a regular basis from our customers is just awesome. So I want to thank the Divi community, thank our Divi customers. We really do appreciate it. It means a lot to hear those words, and it really is motivating for us to keep going and keep improving. Obviously, I want to thank Elegant Themes and, Nick, creator of Elegant Themes. Without him and without Elegant Themes, we wouldn't be here. So big shout out there. It's an awesome platform, and it's changed my life personally, from construction and welding and machine operating to selling plugins. So, I mean, that's awesome. And I have a lead developer who's worked with me from almost the beginning, at least for the last 4 years. His name is Carlos Rafael Garcia Caballero. I call him Carlos.
I could see why, yeah.
But, he's awesome. He's a great developer, and DiviPlugins.com wouldn't be anything what it is now without him. So big shout out to Carlos. Thank you, and keep up the good work.
Awesome. Cool. Well, Carlos, great job. Obviously, I'm not going to say your full name because I don't remember it, but great job. So yeah, there you go, guys. Thanks for checking out another installment of the Divi Creator Showcase series. Don't forget to check out Brad and Carlos's creator profile, which will be linked in the video description. With that said, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.